What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 10 of the Live Z podcast. I'm your host, Bray, and with me always are my fellow co-hosts.
Spencer No Filler Jackson.
Tanner.
Cade Kyle Kendall.
Oh!
Started something.
Dang,
So
dude.
we're going to start off with Anime of the Week, right?
Yeah, Anime of the Week. If you guys haven't seen it, fuck it, Dragon Ball Z. It's always a good anime, good shonen anime. It's what started everything. There you go.
I would have chose Kakiguri, but you know.
I already did Kakiguri.
Yeah, you did Dragon Ball too. It's fine.
No.
It was keeping
Yeah,
track.
you did do Dragon Ball. Yeah, you did. It
I'm
was
gonna
like
scroll
the
back
first
through
one.
these.
All right, what about
Anyhow,
manga of the week?
Manga of the Week is Wudong Quin Kun. It's another Chinese-based one. Honestly, it's from the same writer who does Battle Through the Heavens and a few other ones. He's probably one of my favorite manga writers because he makes such good, elaborate stories based around... All the characters are based in the same universe and they kind of play into each other. It's really cool. What about you, Spencer? Video game of the week?
Trying to pick my brain here real quick. You know, Destiny 2 is making a comeback now that it's no longer part of Activision. So I'm going to say that. They bought themselves out, and the new expansion comes out September sometime.
17th.
Yep, September 17th.
Dang.
There's something on the moon.
Huh.
Let's hear that metal band.
Well, I went to a concert on Sunday. I went and saw August Burns Red and Silverstein.
Yeah.
So they brought it. Both of them freaking brutal, amazing bands. August Burns Red is definitely more brutal than Silverstein, but Silverstein, they had a pit going. So 2 bands. Gross bands.
2 for 1. I
There
like
you
it.
go.
Were you in the pit?
Not in that pit. There were some angry Mormons in there.
To be fair, I wouldn't want to be in the pit. Are you kidding me?
There was some... No, man. Okay, so there was like people pushing each other and like throwing punches and running, which is fine. But then the people on like the outer rim were like kicking the people that were pushing inside.
Oh,
so I was
shit.
just like, yeah, I don't want to get in this. Like, that's not fun.
Those are some aggressive Mormons.
And there was chicks in there. There was chicks that were fucking bringing it. I was just like, hey.
Fuck.
I was like, hey. I just want to watch Jake Lors, the singer of August Burns Red. I just want to watch him. That's why I'm there.
Just sat back and bobbed your head then.
I'm one of these guys. Trying to like not show how amazed I was. Just... God.
So, as this being our 10th episode, this is our video game and movies episode, and I want to start off with Brady's least favorite actor, Tom Holland, in the new Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, shut up.
Far From Home was very good. I enjoyed it immensely.
Oh yeah, no, it was honestly awesome. If you haven't seen it, make sure to realize that there are 2 post-credit scenes if you go to see it, so stay for both of them.
Let's be honest here. If you haven't seen it yet, just skip ahead like 20 minutes. We'll tell you when it's safe. We'll put a timestamp because we're going to spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah,
hold
on, Kate, have you seen it?
I don't care. You can.
Let's just spoil this right now, and we'll put a timestamp in the description where the spoilers end.
Alright, I'm going to spoil it right now, guys. Are you ready for this?
Alright.
Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
God
What?
damn.
What?
God damn.
I
Okay.
thought it was Miles.
Real spoilers begin in 3, 2,
Well,
1.
no, that is a real spoiler.
Well, yeah, because
For the-
his identity gets revealed at the end
Exactly.
of the movie.
Oh my god, that was fantastic. And that brings open, it busts open the Spider-Verse theory, which is, you know, the multiverse. I'm going to geek out here, so you'll see me light up with a lot of emotion. But like, in the Spider-Man universe, he's one of the major players in the metaverse. The other one is, or the multiverse, sorry. Metaverse is DC.
Yeah.
Can't get it mixed up. Multiverse is... Superior, yeah, because it's Marvel. But there's the Spider-Man, which is
I mean,
he's got the
Marvel's
webs.
not superior anyways, but
616.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with that one.
616.
And there's Fantastic Four, which also breaks into the multiverse. Pretty hardcore as well. And so the first end credit scene when Spider-Man's identity is revealed
is amazing.
solidifies that there's multiple dimensions because J. Jonah Jameson was played by J.K. Simmons, which is who played him back in 2003 with
The Sam Raimi days.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Tobey
the
Maguire
last...
is.
If you want to go by day, 2007 was the last Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it just solidified that yes, the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man are canon, and I
But
can't
they're just
sweep
not that
those under the
universe.
rug anymore.
Yeah, exactly. One of the better parts, though, is that it also sets up a really good part for Secret Wars.
Secret Wars was hard in the comics, though.
True.
I was going through it, and if they pull it off, it's going to be fantastic. But they have a lot of shit ahead of them.
I read that comic documentary book on Audible, one that always gets like thrown out there in like commercials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I read it, and it does talk a lot about how like Secret Wars kind of like really messed up the Marvel comic continuity back then.
The only thing I'm worried about with Secret Wars is they're gonna do exactly what they did with Civil War,
Which is
here's the premise. We're not gonna use any of the actual stuff on it.
okay, but to the extent of that, you can't because if they followed Civil War to the T, Steve Rogers would be lying dead on the steps of the Capitol. Like,
I get that.
I know.
And they didn't introduce all the characters, so we couldn't have the big fight. But still,
I think I know
in
what
reading
you're
the
talking about.
comics, I thought the comics were way better than the movie.
but you're comparing oranges to grapefruit. They look the same, but the contents are different because
I get that.
the comic books it's episodic, and I'm sorry I keep cutting
Oh, you're
you off,
fine. You're
but
fine. You're fine.
it's very episodic, whereas the movies cram an entire season or series of
Comics into one big thing, and I get that.
Yeah, great.
I do like how you said about what you just said. So movies like to take an idea, but they want to make their own spin on it, make it sort of original. But I kind of agree more with what Tanner says. With a lot of these storylines, don't really need to be changed. This is what people want to see adapted from the comics.
And
Like
I'm not
when
saying,
Spider-Man reveals his identity
Yeah.
to the world in Civil War, because
that
he
would
takes
have been
out Ned's
awesome.
side.
And I get why they couldn't do that because he hadn't been introduced yet.
Yeah.
Because of
And I like the way that they did it because now this way it does set up for Secret Wars instead of going off of how it would have went in Civil War. But at the same time, I don't want them to do with Secret Wars what they did with Civil War. Especially where Secret Wars has a few years before it's going to come out, if it does lead up to that. So they have so much room in between that they can, go through and start setting other things up for it to get it to be more like the comics.
right.
Also, in the middle of this conversation, I'm going to stop real quick and say, I'm sorry, everyone. This is going to be a very short podcast because we're 7 minutes in and my laptop's at 21%.
Because we don't charge.
Yeah, it just won't be as long as these comic book episodes are. We're sorry, but that's just kind of what we got to deal with.
Anyhow, back to what you were going to say.
Oh, I was gonna. So another thing that movies and comic books have completely different is with comic books you have a fan base that runs, and what you introduce in comic number 1 could come back up in comic number 25, and the people who have read comic number 1 understand that. Whereas movies, they're like, okay, so here's Adam Warlock. He's a guy. But we're not going to actually do anything with him until Guardians 4. And now when Guardians 4
Is he
comes out...
confirmed in Guardians 4?
Not yet. But when Guardians 4 comes out, people are going to be like, who the fuck is Adam Warlock? And why is he here? It's because you can't you can, but you can't set it up. The payoff
My
is
thing
different.
is, at the same point though, for people who go to a Marvel movie, anyone who goes to a Marvel movie, if they don't know dick about comics, knows you stay till the end of the movie after the credits.
That's correct.
Which is where Adam Warlock was first introduced. I give it the point that people are probably not going to remember it. But they did still introduce him. And everyone knows before any fucking Marvel movie, you binge watch the movies before.
But what if you can't? Or what if you've been living under a rock and you've not seen any Marvel movies, but you're like, hey, the special effects on Spider-Man Far From Home look damn good. I'm going to go watch it without knowing anything else.
That's your own fault then.
Yeah,
Gotta
give him a
no
dose of
sympathy
that.
for it.
Give him a big old dose of that sucks.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
does
sucks,
suck.
but that's their fault.
They have so much time to watch these movies.
But, okay.
They've had 12 years to watch these movies.
It's only been a week since a little over a week since Far From Home was out. They're gonna have it in there for another month.
Yeah, of course. However,
more.
it's just one of those things where you can't compare comics to movies because comic has more time to set things up.
I get
They
that.
can gradually add filler and nobody cares. Whereas a 2-hour movie, you can't be like, okay, here's Adam Warlock. It's Iron Man 1 and we're introducing Happy and he's not going to have any other parts until in Avengers Endgame. And then after that, he's going to be a more pivotal part. It's like, who the fuck's Happy and why is he there?
Well, I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, though.
Not really. He's a staple within Iron Man.
I guess, yeah, but not as big as what he became in Far From Home.
Yeah, he was in Homecoming. He was in
I know, but what I'm
Idiot
saying is
Iron Man.
like he's made his debut a lot more in Far From Home.
Yeah,
than
because
he did
he's
in every
Peter's
other
new father
movie.
figure.
Exactly. Well, he's definitely trying to get that father figure with Aunt May.
First thing.
I don't blame him on that one.
First thing, did they come up with a casting idea for Adam Warlock?
No.
Yeah, I heard it was Keanu.
I thought it was too, but I don't know if that's confirmed or
Well, that
not.
sucks.
I wouldn't-
Great.
Are you looking that up?
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
don't
right
know.
now.
Second thing,
Him
while
as a
Tanner's
blonde.
looking that up, with the way you were saying, Tanner, about Secret Wars and how it's going and how you're wanting them to be accurate, does that mean
Well, it won't.
black suit?
Well, there's no way it can be accurate. That's the sad part about it. That's
So do you think they're gonna do the black suit then?
Speaking of Black Suit Spider-Man, actually,
No.
Tom Holland came out publicly stating it would be a shame to the fans to not have a Spider-Man and Venom movie.
Kevin Feige already said that it's in the works that they're going to do like a Venom Spidey. It's happening.
Dude, Avi Arad's gonna have his
I mean,
hands
But
all
dude,
so-
that's the thing when
so
it comes to
for-
Secret Wars, though. Like they already said, it's already been shown. Like the
That was a big
Spidey,
part. That was a
Spidey
big-
didn't get the black suit first. They've already retconned that, and it was Deadpool. Deadpool got it first,
Yeah.
and Iron Man's gone. You know,
Yeah.
Captain America's a no-show. So I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the own foot, where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this because we don't have the X-Men. We don't have Fantastic
But they do
Four."
now.
Yeah,
They,
they
yeah,
do.
but they didn't back when they started
Right,
doing this. So I think.
But
when-
now they do, and so they're like,
Right.
well, we can do it like this. Also about the Adam Warlock thing, the only thing I found is an IMDb poll for Adam Warlock with some of the casting,
Oh, man.
some of the choices being Nicolas Coster-Waldau, don't know who the fuck that is.
he's Jamie in Game of Thrones.
Okay, someone wanted Tom Hardy, but he's already a staple point.
Tom Hardy would be a terrible actor.
He's way too fucking
I
short.
think he.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh my god, please no.
Why? Why? He's got the hair for it.
Oh, well,
That's not
someone wants Michael
You
Ealy.
just be sitting there rolling a
Who's
booger.
that?
Well, I can tell you he probably wouldn't fit.
it. What is Michael Ealy? Who is he? What was he? in?
I'm just let you
He's-
look.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy is the way I'm gonna explain it.
Ah, I see.
Ooh, someone wants Matt
Matt
Bomer.
Bomer. Oh, Bomber. Sorry.
I think that's how you say it. God damn, kid. There are a few on here. Oh, someone wants Charlie Hunnam. Actually,
Mr.
my-
Skarsgård.
Oh, yeah, Skarsgård.
Bill
Someone wants
Skarsgård.
Brad Pitt.
I don't know.
I'd be alright with Brad Pitt being Adam Warlock. I would.
I take the polls with a grain of salt.
I do too. And someone wants Zac Efron too. I'm just-
Everybody keeps trying to Marvel cast him.
No.
I don't know.
I'm still hoping that John Krasinski and his wife from A Quiet Place will be Mr. Fantastic.
Oh,
Yes.
Dude, that would be so
fucking
amazing.
badly. So
They
bad.
they started setting it up. So in Homecoming, there's speculation because it's not ever confirmed with Marvel that the person who bought the Avengers Tower
Is the
Is-
Fantastic
Is
Four.
Reed's-
So
because
if
it's
you
going
look
to
in-
become the Baxter Building,
Hell
and then when he was swinging through Manhattan at the very end, there was a poster in the back that said 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't wait to show you what's coming, and it had a picture of a man, a woman, and another man.
I
And
knew that
question-
had to do with
Ah,
something. I
man.
knew. I was like, why would they just focus the camera so much on?
But you know, and everybody knows John Krasinski.
Yeah.
The Office. He was actually in the running to be Cap
Really?
at the
Yeah.
very beginning. And
I
I remember being
remember
like,
that.
please give it to him. Like, please. And because I mean, Chris Evans, you know, he's Captain
Fuck
America, we
me,
all know
dude.
that.
So this is James Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn teases Adam Warlock casting. Matthew McConaughey had been approached for a role.
Oh,
That's badass.
Dude, I want to.
Dude, he's gonna show up and be like, alright.
Sitting there, just kind of rolling a booger like he
Gonna
does in the
learn
commercials.
today.
Let's kill some aliens, man.
But that's cool that that's just crazy that they brought James Gunn back.
Yeah,
that's
I
just
mean-
good.
Oh, because they heard he was going to DC, and they're like, no,
Yeah, exactly.
We're on
exactly.
top. Come back.
No,
Come back.
no,
We
no,
don't
we were
care.
just kidding. We were just kidding.
Well, he's still going to do DC. He's going to do Suicide Squad, the reboot.
Oh.
Okay, hey, fuck all
that's
of you.
fine.
I was fine. I like the first one.
Why do they need to reboot it?
You see, there's a beautiful thing in DC called "They Suck" and need to get on top.
Hey,
so,
So I'm sorry
I
to say
like
this is the last
Batman.
episode. Spencer's gonna be alive. We'll be hosting a memorial for him next week.
I'm just saying that.
Spencer, that hurts.
Okay,
Alright?
okay.
didn't-
Martha,
Oh my God, it's Martha.
Okay, I will.
that.
I will give that to him. That was a bullshit reasoning. There were so many better ways.
Hey,
they
my
could
mom's name's Martha too.
They got every single character like aspiration and motivation completely wrong in that movie, and that is an absolute dumpster fire.
The biggest downfall of DC was Zack Snyder and the way he told the story.
Zack Snyder,
Period.
I actually,
Dude,
And the way he
touches
sold,
sets on
and the way
fire.
he sold Superman
He based.
as basically a god.
I have to disagree. And after I say this, you guys might agree with me. I don't blame Zack Snyder at all.
Okay.
I blame Christopher Nolan.
Really?
I do.
Really?
Because, think about it. DC had the most serious, awesome Batman trilogy, right? Gritty and realistic, and it was badass, and everybody liked it. And Zack Snyder was like, well, that's what's in. That people like that. So I'm going to just do that with the DC universe because people like it, and it works.
Here's a hot take.
Whoa.
I didn't like.
So it's Christopher Nolan's fault that Zack Snyder's an idiot.
He helped
thinks
produce the
that we
movie.
need to make every.
He did help produce the
dark.
movie, but I'm gonna put up a hot
Nolan
take here
did?
that you guys are gonna support. I think the original Batman trilogy was kind of trash.
Even the dude.
Whoa, wait. Dark
Yep.
Knight?
No. I gotta scratch you.
I just
So, guys,
I didn't
second
think it was
news.
good.
This is Tanner's last recording. And the last recording of the Livesy podcast. We don't have any other equipment to record with.
I was gonna
So-
say I am the equipment
No,
of
it's
the
okay.
Lazy Podcast.
Unless you want to bootleg
And Spencer really?
podcast on an iPhone, this would be the last good quality. Why not? Why didn't you like them?
I just didn't think that they were like cool. Yeah, they were cool at the beginning, but I think how the guy portrayed Batman was kind of shit.
You didn't like how Batman talk like this?
No, it sounded like he sucked a dick before, got some cum stuck in his throat, and it was blocking his vocal cords from making actual sound.
I mean, you could say he was gargling gravel, but I mean that's a perfectly fine.
Have you guys seen the college humor video?
Oh,
yeah. It's his
Batman
voice.
finds his voice.
Oh my
No,
God.
no, I thought you were talking about the one with Batman being super horny.
Oh, where were the other jokes? I was watching the one where he
Whoa,
figures that
whoa.
voice out.
Try that again.
Where were the other jokes going? Yeah, do that.
You know what? I like it. Really? Yeah.
I just lost my voice.
Yeah, no, it's really great.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Swear to me.
The
That's
voice.
crazy. You're the
Yeah,
only person.
well,
Yeah, I just didn't think that they were that great.
Okay, so would you take Batfleck over Bale?
Yes.
Cool. Nice. I'm done. My questions are done. I like that.
I thought Ben Affleck looked like a really good Batman.
I thought he was.
He had the really awesome like Bruce Wayne.
It was literally just
Hugh
Snyder
Hefner
fucked
look.
it up.
But
The castings were good except for the Flash. Snyder fucked it up.
I just
Would the Flash have sucked if the TV show didn't exist though?
like they go,
I didn't know.
I don't know the Flash, so I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
Yeah.
So-
like they go one way with Batman v Superman, and it's like Batman killing people.
And then they like totally flipped the script and
They flipped
Justice
this.
League.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
totally
okay.
like undo it. It's like, okay, he never killed anyone anymore. It's okay. Everything's fine.
Well, Zack Snyder watched The Dark Knight Returns, the 2-part cartoon. He was just like, I want to do that.
He still didn't kill anybody.
No.
There's like a big moment between the Joker and Batman where he's like, all the people I murdered by letting you live, and he still doesn't kill the Joker. You could argue that he the way he like snapped his neck, like the Joker still killed himself, but the Batman put him in that position.
Yeah.
That's what made it like kind of his last stand before he fights Clark. But it was still like he didn't want to kill him, and that's why he stopped at the last second, you know? But even then,
See, the biggest memory that I have about Batman killing someone is the comic scene when he's taking the Joker to the prison, and as soon as he pulls up, snaps the Joker's neck, and then like turns himself in.
oh, the Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Oh
really?
no,
Not the
that
Michael
wasn't
Keaton's?
the Killing Joke. That was a different one.
That is probably my favorite thing because he realized, because that was the moment when the Joker almost killed fucking Lois Lane before Batman and Superman stopped him, and it was at that moment Batman was like, you know what, you can't be left alive anymore.
Was that an alternate issue of Injustice?
I think so.
Oh,
It was. It was
actually-
basically like going and preventing injustice.
Injustice is so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. Okay.
But Michael Keaton, we've all seen the Batman Returns. Those guys that he fought in the clock tower, yeah, those
They're
fuckers
dead.
died.
Yeah, they're
the guy
fucking
with the bomb
dead.
in the
Yeah, straight up
he
strapped
died.
a bomb to
he
his
was-
chest.
Yeah, no, he is not gonna live.
He's sleeping.
No.
George Clooney's role as Bruce Wayne killed enough people. It's he's
Yeah.
murdered.
Okay, so I grew up
Val
with those
Kilmer
movies.
was-
I thought that they were pretty good.
No, I love Batman
yeah,
Forever.
her too.
I love Batman Forever.
The bat nipples.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
bat
that's
nipples
all.
are the best. I guess it is one thing Marvel has over DC. Marvel still has Robin.
It's fair.
For any of you who don't get that joke, fuck you.
Oh, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm like, I don't get it either.
Did
What
none
does
of you
that
watch
mean?
How I Met Your Mother?
Oh. I know.
After the horrible series finale, I said fuck that show and I never watched it.
Well, that's why it was a series finale, Kate.
Well, but it's
There's
bad.
nothing after.
I know, but it's a bad finale. It
Yeah.
ruins the whole show. It's not good.
He's forgotten about it, like mentally.
He'll never know.
So what's
You'll never know.
With Marvel and Robin?
Yeah. So
No, don't let him know.
Robin is Colby Smulders, and she's in.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas
Alright.
in DC, he gets a crowbar. So.
And we voted for that.
Yeah, that's
That's always. I always forget that.
Did we vote to kill Robin or Jason Todd?
Robin.
Robin, yeah, we voted to kill Robin.
Yeah.
In a gruesome fashion, too.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. It was like, call this number if you want him dead. Call this number to save him. It was like most people called this number. There was
People
like
are like, fuck it, kill the little shit.
Kill that little bastard.
Oh, they did not know what they had caused for themselves, so. Because then Jason Todd comes back as Red Hood.
Yeah.
And Red Hood is actually a really good character.
I mean, that was a good redemption, and also
That was
like,
a good redemption. And I like how him and Nightwing act kind of in the later comics.
Mhm.
They kind of actually form a brotherly bond.
And I do like Arkham Knight's twist on it too. That was a really good story.
Yeah.
Like all the Arkham stories do like a pretty badass job.
16%, guys.
Yeah, here we go. We're living on the edge right now. But before we get into it, I just want to
Fuck,
say...
I forgot to capture what point we stopped talking about Far From Home.
I mean, technically we still haven't because I was going to bring up Mysterio and
Oh, shit.
my favorite
Well,
villain of all time.
At this point, fuck it. We're not going to put it in. You can listen at your own disclosure. Every time I post a video, I put in it, spoiler warning. You have a warning every time in the video. You know we're going to spoil shit.
Yeah, but
It's
we
your-
already
it's
told
their
them
own
ahead of time.
Far
so-
From
Yeah, they
Home
can
was
go-
fun, though, if I gotta say.
Yeah,
And
I get that at the start
It
time.
was a definite improvement on the last movie. They definitely
We
did
get
a lot
that you
of things
hate Tom
better.
Holland.
No,
it's
I thought this
okay.
movie was great. And they did a lot of good things with it.
The second time was so much better.
Oh, you watched it again?
I've seen it twice so far, and
Oh, wait.
so
No, it's not
Mysterio is my favorite villain because of all the mind games and stuff that he plays. And so as soon as I knew that he was going to be the villain for Far From Home, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be so good.
Mysterio really knows how to manipulate people, and they captured that in the movie really well.
So good. And the scenes with Mysterio, special effects, my god,
They were
they're so
amazing.
good.
And honestly, Jake Gyllenhaal's portrayal, I really liked him.
And also Marvel Zombies is canon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
That was a pretty fucked up thing to do for him, but yeah.
Nah. I like Happy though. He's going to be the next father figure. Hopefully he shakes the Uncle Ben syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's gonna shake something? That Uncle Ben was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just that's one problem I've always had with these movies. You don't have to show Uncle Ben dying, but there's almost no indication that he's ever in those movies, and it's kind of sad because I always thought Uncle Ben was the one thing that pushed Peter to become Spider-Man the most.
Well, I mean, it was, and they talked about it in Civil War, but in reality, I mean, yeah, it kind of pushed him to start, but it's not what kept him going.
Right, Mary Jane's what kept him going.
Well, not even just her. I mean, there's so many different things that have kept him going over the years, in the comics especially. And this way, they did it a little better of giving him a reason to be the next Tony Stark.
I don't.
He's not going to be the next.
He's not going to be.
I
No,
don't
it's going to be
want him
Tony's
to
daughter.
be the next Tony
I don't
Stark.
think it'll be Morgan either.
Really?
I don't think that anybody's going to pick up the mantle, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you know what? Maybe this is an overarching story to where all of this looks like Peter's gonna become the new Tony Stark. Eventually, maybe there's a trilogy of these movies, and in the third movie, he finally realizes I don't have to be Tony Stark. I just have to be Spider-Man.
Well, that's what
He
he's
did
kind of. Yeah, he did that. He realized that he's just gonna be Spider-Man.
With Happy.
Yeah.
Happy's you're not Spider-Man. You'll never be.
You're not Iron Man. You'll never be Iron Man.
Yeah, nobody can be Iron Man.
But I did like how they did the whole playback to Tony's first suiting up
with the
ACD
gauntlet.
with the gauntlet and ACDC.
See, that was my.
Oh my
problem
god, I
with the
love
movie.
Queen.
That was my one problem with the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, because
yeah, because they like because they
we
like
get it. You hate him.
they set it up to where like he said it exactly. Happy said that, and I was literally like getting choked up. I was like, yes, finally,
the
finally.
parallels are there though.
It's supposed to kind of show that, just like Tony was a genius of his time, it's kind of highlighting on the fact that Spider-Man is a genius recognized by the top minds in the actual world in the comics as being a genius way ahead of people of his peers.
I don't know.
And so it kind of symbolizes more of, he is like Tony was a genius and able to work things out if he has the right time.
Yeah, there's parallels.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be shown. Instead of being like, well, Iron Man's dead, so is the smartest guy in the room. We're stuck with Spider-Man. He's above average.
Mm-hmm. Instead, it shows he is a genius.
They really underplay Spider-Man too, though.
Oh, I know.
Because
They're
like,
gonna have to.
well,
Yeah,
I get that
16-year-old
I get
kid.
that he's a kid, but like, I don't know. It's just to me that whole moment was just another like what could have been really nice and like have a lot of heart. Fuck it, let's just play AC/DC and make.
No,
Peter
it had a
Parker
lot of.
look like
Actually,
Iron
I
Man.
think that scene gave it more heart.
Yeah.
Because it shows the connection between Tony and Peter.
And it furthered the bond with Happy.
Exactly. Happy kind of saw his best friend in Peter. He saw what Peter could become. And like Spencer said, it kind of symbolized more of Happy's on his way to being a father figure for Peter. Just like how he was kind of a,
Father figure with Iron Man.
Right.
Yeah, with Tony, really.
Yeah.
But that's never been, and maybe I just don't want to accept it. I probably don't.
It's because you
But-
hate Tom Holland.
Hold on, because you keep saying you hate Tom Holland, then I lose my train of thought. Hold on.
It's because you're just filled with rage.
Stop. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is that maybe I just don't want to get past it. But I don't know. For me, like, if you guys like this Spider-Man, that's awesome. But that's not who I've known as Spider-Man for the longest time.
Yeah, you
know?
like the mannequin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the mannequin, the scene where Mary Jane and Tobey Maguire are
Kissing?
flying through the air and her hair's going the wrong way and it's clearly a mannequin and...
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I mean. Yeah,
no, that's the movies you like.
those
but
movies.
honestly, like, if
Those
you look,
movies. Listen, those movies may not have like been the best produced, but it's what we had at the time. But they had heart, man. You can't deny Spider-Man 2's got a lot of heart in it.
It had a very good father figure story.
You know,
it has something.
What?
Yeah, with Dr. Octavius. Spider-Man looked
Oh
up to him.
yeah. Sorry, I got confused for a second. But Spider-Man 2 had a lot of heart, and I just liked what Sam Raimi did with that movie. Same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, Tobey Maguire's portrayal is probably, of the three, probably the worst.
I think it's the best.
Here's the thing. I don't think you think it's the best. I think you're attached to it because it's so taking you back to your childhood.
Let's keep this
I'm
civil.
keeping
like,
it civil.
No,
it's civil. What I'm saying is, it's kind of like with old video games. You play them once and you kind of go back to when you were a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of you see that and you go back to being a kid when it came out because you were what, like 5?
6.
When
Yeah,
the
because
first one
Spider-Man
came
2 came out in 2005.
out? Did it?
Yeah, because Spider-Man
right.
1 came out in 2003.
That's right.
2.5,
Yep.
3.7.
3.7.
Spider-Man 3
Oh yeah.
was released in 2007.
But yeah, and so it's more of a nostalgia. That's the word I was finally looking for.
And I definitely got hit with that, whoa. I was like way too nostalgic over this movie when I saw Spider-Man 3.
We don't talk about that movie. It doesn't exist.
But the fact that many people saw that movie, say today that it's still good, goes back and watches it, and then still says, yeah, it was pretty good, still means that it was I think it still makes its case.
I mean, it was an emotional movie. It was a good movie when you look at it that way, and I will never disagree with that. It was a good movie, but I think out of the portrayals we've gotten, Tobey Maguire's was probably the worst. I mean, they focused way too much on the MJ scene.
I need to go back and watch them, and honestly, it's perfectly fine if you think that iteration of Spider-Man is better than everybody else, or if you're a fan of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Because
And I think that way of saying Andrew Garfield was the worst is like, it's kind of hard to say because all 3 Spider-Man movies were going for a different kind of Spider-Man. They all are.
True. Well, they all are, yeah.
are. You know, and I actually kind of liked where, you know, Mark Webb was going with.
Was he the director of
Amazing Spider-Man?
Okay, I don't.
I kind of liked where he was going with the first one. I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, we got a completely different Peter Parker, more modernized and stuff like that. But it was a story about a boy, you know, trying to find his, you know, his place in the world and trying to find a father figure.
It kind of reminded me of like the troubled teens in high school
who
like go and like smoke weed in the teacher's lounge.
Each one.
That took a left turn really quick. I was nodding my head and then you said that and I kind of like slowly stopped. Wait, what?
Each one of the Spider-Men have their upsides and their downsides.
Yeah,
and that's to be said with time because, you know, stories change and evolve. But the best
14%.
part of it is multiverse.
Yeah, and I actually saw a poster that made me super happy. It was like a fan-made one, of course, but it was a Spider-Man Spider-Verse, and then it was all three of them on a water tower, and I was pretty happy about that.
That'd be pretty dope.
I was like, oh my god, please.
That would be sweet if they had a movie with all three of them and ended the movie all in their signature pose, like Tobey Maguire, like out here, like with his feet on the wall, like that. And
well,
then,
the thing is, do you think you could get Tobey Maguire to do it again, though? I don't think he's that spry anymore.
dude, I don't know though because like,
isn't he in his like late
you know,
40s?
it's the MCU though. Like most stuff in the MCU is computer
True.
animated now. Like most of Homecoming was animated, which is a shame because it was a beautiful suit.
I know for all the stunts and everything, Tom Holland did most of them.
Yeah, he did most of them.
Like all the flips and everything, I'm pretty sure he did because he
grew up as a ballet star.
Yeah, ballet star and did gymnastics.
He did most of that, but I'm talking about like the background, a lot of the backgrounds and stuff like that, and some parts of the suit were covered up with CGI.
Well, yeah.
You know, but that would be so awesome.
Or like
if they could just do a final curtain close to the Raimi films and the Mark Webb films.
It would be cool, yeah. And honestly, you know, like Into the Spider-Verse brought in a great idea of bringing in Wilson Fisk and having him, you know, establish all of it. Having him break into the multiverse.
And that's beautiful.
Which Wilson Fisk are we talking about here? Are we talking about the one from like the 01 movie with Ben Affleck?
No.
Or are we talking about the one from the Netflix series, which is King?
That's Daredevil still. Like I understand where you're going with it, but
it's
I know,
both of those
I
were
understand.
Daredevil wasn't.
But Daredevil was established in the cinematic universe. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. All of that was happening in the MCU.
Yeah. But the beauty and issue with the MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the top layer of the cake, and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Jessica Jones, everybody like that is the lower layer that never gets referenced because it's TV canon instead of movie canon.
I know.
It trickles down, whereas like Coulson was made in the movies and they went down to S.H.I.E.L.D. Any of the events up top trickle down.
Yeah, they're gonna trickle down. But
so yes, they are canon, but they're not movie canon.
That's just a shame, though, just because there's so many great stories with Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Yeah, but again,
like when Spider-Man's villain origins, because I saw a comic panel today that was my favorite thing, and it's Spider-Man on a wall looking across on a building as Daredevil kisses Black Cat, and Spider-Man then says, "I guess this is my villain origin story."
That's fantastic. But it took 22 movies to introduce, 20 movies really, to introduce Thanos, and then he was there for 2 episodes, or 2 movies, whereas, you know, you can't always...
Yeah, I'm having a work emergency.
Okay.
So I have to, so Kyle Kendall will be back on the next one. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Hey, good luck, man.
Oh, dude, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's just, bye, everybody.
Yeah.
I'll be
See
back
you later,
next
man.
time.
See you later.
Yeah, take care, guys.
But as I was saying before, you guys can like this new Spider-Man. I hope a lot of people enjoy this new Spider-Man.
I think
I'm just hoping for next
think it's
time.
just you.
I think a lot of people agree with me. I think there's a lot of people out there who like other versions of Spider-Man. You know, you'd have to be crazy to not think that there'd be more people out there with a different opinion. But what I'm saying is that I just hope next time if they decide to do another Spider-Man, I just hope they do it different in a way that I like it. You know, I hope they take some notes from Spider-Verse.
I'm sure,
Because both those versions of Spider-Man, I think, are fantastic.
They can't have the Uncle Ben Rice scene though, and that's what I miss.
Uncle Ben what?
Rice scene? It's where Peter Parker is getting dinner.
Oh,
and he gets a box of Uncle Ben's
Uncle
and
Ben.
he just starts weeping because he's been killed 3 times now. So
yeah, I know.
it's
So I think Spider-Man 3 is already confirmed, I think.
it's Spider-Man: The Secret Wars.
Spider-Man 3 will tell a Peter Parker story that's never been done before on film. So it's Secret Wars.
Okay, correct me because maybe you guys know. Is Spider-Man now Sony's again? Or is it back up to negotiation?
No, wait. I thought he was good for 3 movies.
Yeah, I think it was
5.
5 altogether?
Yeah, which was Civil War, Infinity War,
Endgame.
Endgame 1 and 2.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So does that mean Sony gets it back and is like, oh, you money-making son of a bitch, you're never seeing the light of day again.
Come here, come in the basement.
Yeah.
Make us money.
Hold on,
Because from what I had initially read, and maybe it was just me, they would do the 5 movies and then renegotiate, or it was that, or they would do the 5 movies and then if Sony didn't do anything with the Spider-Man, it would revert back to Marvel. But Sony, of course, has done stuff, and I'd be okay completely if they renegotiated and was like, hey, Spider-Man is so hot now, we want $1.2 billion for his property. I bet you the mouse would just hand over that money in a heartbeat.
Dude, there'd be so many Spider-Man mobile games.
I'd be okay with that. I'd play them all.
I'm sure there's already.
I think that they just struck a deal to get him into the MCU.
What do you mean?
To just get Spider-Man into the MCU.
Just keep him forever?
Well,
I mean, he belongs there,
Yeah, and he's been introduced, and so they can't really retcon him anymore. But it's one of those things where it's like, if Sony's going to have their hands in it, then is it going to suck? Or
I'm not sure,
I don't know, but so that's our takes on Spider-Man. Sorry that it's been the entire podcast so far. There isn't really any noteworthy video games coming out.
Cyberpunk 2099, buy it. It deserves all the attention.
2077.
2077.
so Braden can.
We were on Spider-Man, and I was thinking
yeah,
Spider-Man
okay.
2099.
Ooh, that'd be cool. They could bring Spider-Man 2099 in.
Be cool, yeah. Oh, they actually already mined Spider-Verse 2. Because it was teased at the end.
Yeah, with the Who Are You meme.
You didn't see that? At the end of the movie, it's who's the guy that plays Poe Dameron in Star Wars? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
He voices Miguel O'Hara as Spider-Man 2099 in that movie.
Oh.
And then he goes back to 1963, but when he goes back, it's in the old
Is this like an end credits scene?
Yeah, it's like in the old format of the
Wait.
old Spider-Man cartoon. And when Spider-Man's pointing, he's there and he's like, "You're pointing, you're being very rude." And it's just like this back and forth. It's just hilarious.
So you're gonna tell me that you went to a Marvel movie and you didn't watch both?
I didn't go to
credits?
see them just because I didn't think it was worth my money.
Wow, you were sorely mistaken.
I watched it on
because
Netflix.
it's fantastic, and you didn't fast forward to the end.
No.
It's a Marvel movie, man.
Did you
There's
like
2
the
credits.
Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I liked
the
it, but at the
Spider-Verse?
time, Miles Morales was actually a piece of shit character, and so I didn't think that the movie was going to be worth my money.
Wow.
I saw a video on how Into the Spider-Verse fixed Miles Morales.
Yeah, no, they did. Don't get me wrong, but before the movie, Miles Morales was a shitty character, so I had no plans on supporting it.
Well, they kind of retconned him in the Ultimate series out of nowhere because everybody thought when Peter died in the Ultimate series, it would just be done, and then they're like, "Surprise, Miles Morales!" And everybody was like, "We're still recovering." So
fuck off.
yeah.
I mean, they did that they introduced him in Spider-Man the 2017 game.
Well, that's different though.
Yeah,
They set it up. They set it up from the beginning.
Yeah, he was in the beginning. He was through the whole story.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah, it showed him getting fit, and then it was he revealed himself as Peter, and I thought that was awesome because it showed that even though he didn't know Peter was Spider-Man, they had formed such a bond that he trusted him enough to show him.
I think,
Yeah.
it'll be good. I'm excited.
And that was just a good, like, trying to find yourself kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like the message of it's really good.
Although, so one of my friends came to me and he's like, yeah, I really hate that they didn't tell you who the Prowler was until Miles Morales found out. I'm like, does it matter?
Dude, it's hinted throughout the entire movie.
I knew the first time he showed up.
Dude, he's got like a purple poster that says Prowler in his apartment. He's got a fucking purple t-shirt with a black.
He literally said, I have somewhere to go with, and his dad hinted he was a criminal.
Yeah.
And then we see the Prowler fighting Spider-Man. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, dude, how was that not more obvious?
Yeah, he and I don't agree on a lot of things when it comes to superheroes and movies because...
So 9% by the way, guys.
Alright.
Is your friend mentally challenged?
No, he's not.
Okay.
We'll go for a couple more minutes. It's okay.
Nah.
But I another thing I wanted to say is I think I'm just officially like done with Bethesda. You know
Why?
I just don't like what the company's doing right now. I'm holding out one little tiny spark for Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, you mean the thing that's coming out in 2 years? 3 years?
7 years?
Because they're not rushing it, which is very good.
Yeah, that's really good.
But
I got told because Fallout 76, like end of the year production reports came back and they were so bad and people thought Bethesda were gonna be like, whatever, fuck this new game. Let's bring Elder Scrolls in. Let's bring it in. And that's when I got kind of worried and was like, oh no. But it's good to hear that they're gonna be taking their time, which I hope they do. It's just gonna give me some time to stay away from, you know, Bethesda for a while, come back, revisit Elder Scrolls, and you're
gonna miss out on Doom.
Yep.
You're gonna miss out on Wolfenstein.
Yep.
Prey. Okay. All right.
I mean, Wolfenstein 1 was the first Wolfenstein was pretty good, and
So was 2.
and I liked it. I don't know, I didn't like it that much.
Oh, you didn't like punching Klansmen? And,
I get it,
killing
Brandon.
Nazis?
We get it. You don't like hurting the KKK.
No, don't
We're
say
not
that.
gonna
That's
say
not
that.
true.
But no, it just I can see where you're coming from. But it's Wolfenstein. You kill Nazis and it doesn't need to have a good story.
You just need to kill Nazis. That's all you need to do.
No, it's not even about this story, dude. I don't know. I just didn't think it was as fun as the first. I like Doom. I never really like cared about Doom all that much, to be honest. You know.
So you're a heathen.
No.
I can see where you're coming from though, because taking a break from video games for 6 months now has really opened my eyes to the games that I want to spend my time with.
Yeah.
So why can't I do that?
No, you totally can.
Yeah, no, we're just giving you shit.
Yeah.
Literally, I spend my time playing Minecraft, and that's about it right now.
I watch paint dry. That's my.
And I don't know, like
That sounds awful.
Ubisoft. You guys remember Ubisoft, right?
Yeah.
They've just kind of
You know.
they've synced. I'm done with Ubisoft. You know, I was done with Assassin's Creed for a long time. I was done after 4. In all honesty.
I'm holding out for Obsidian and Arcane, and I'll probably still play some of the Bethesda games, but my top 4 right now are Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
Because of all the hype, and it's going to be a good single play story.
They
Because of
they deserve all the credit they're getting.
I have Borderlands 3 on my mind because I love looter shooters, and that's perfect. I'm a huge fan of Outer Worlds because they've confirmed it's Fallout New Vegas in space. And
You're a New Vegas.
I'm a New Vegas boy. Like
Oh.
Bethesda's kind of on my shit list because of how dirty they did Obsidian, but that's for another story. And I have a couple other ones, but they're not really mentionable. Those are my top 3.
See, I played Fallout 3 a long time ago, and I really liked it, you know, but I just couldn't get into New Vegas at the time. And then Skyrim came out, and I loved Skyrim for a long time. And then Fallout 4 came out, and I was just kind of like, I remembered this, kind of being a little, bit longer. Story, being a little bit more engaging, the gameplay not seeming so repetitive. And this one just kind of did. It didn't really feel like...
4 was pretty boring to
didn't
play.
feel like a hardcore MMO, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it felt kind of like I do the same shit over and over again.
You remember when we got bored and just started like fucking around with your character's face and everything? It's easy to get bored.
And that was what, like an hour playing?
Yeah. It's just easy to get bored in that game. And New Vegas, oh man, New Vegas was terrible.
Then there are fighting words, Braden. There's nothing like getting shot in the head and hunting the man who killed you.
I was just testing you. I was just fucking with you. I still haven't played New Vegas, but 76 was the terrible one.
New Vegas is the true Fallout experience.
If I ever have time, I'll is it backwards compatible with one?
Yeah.
Well,
it's on PC, which I recommend because you can make it pretty because graphics didn't age. Yeah. But the DLCs are fantastic. And
is it the same engine as Oblivion?
I doubt it. I don't know for sure.
Actually, no. I think the engine that they used in New Vegas was like their brand new, and then they used that one for Skyrim, just an updated.
Most likely. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. Then there are fighting words if you don't like New Vegas because that's what I keep in my heart.
I'll give it a try someday. I'll give it a try.
Keep in my heart.
You never know. But I think just after that, I just don't think a lot of big game companies these days care about their players anymore.
No, they don't.
It's about money.
It's a sad thing, especially EA. EA made some great games back in the day.
Single player games though care, whereas multiplayer.
Oh my god, single player games care so much.
If multiple players can play the same game, you know that the basis doesn't really, or like the company doesn't care about its players. Whereas it's single player only,
they're gonna give a shit about the characters.
Exactly.
I mean, look at God of War.
I didn't like God of War.
Really?
Yeah, the story wasn't good.
What?
I love the story.
Dude, it was amazing.
Those are some fucking fighting words.
And the twist they made with the mythology going to Norse, genius.
It was
genius.
Awesome. They even managed to bring Greeks back in it and reference it.
It literally took me 4 months to beat the game.
Dude.
It's because you're bad.
God of War is hard.
Have you ever played a
God of War game?
It's not because I hit a wall. I'm like, wow, this is the hardest thing. I fucking beat.
You just weren't interested.
No,
yeah,
I just couldn't fucking do it, guys.
I set it down and I'm like, I'll come back to this later. And I went and played other games, and then I'm like, I have nothing else to play. Might as well finish God of War.
I don't know. Maybe that's because I grew up playing God of War, but it's meant to be hard. It's meant to be difficult.
And it's meant. And it was a good story. It was a good game.
Have you played 3?
Yeah.
The level with Hades. Oh my god!
Fuck that.
Took me so many tries to beat that.
I think it took me maybe 15.
Yeah, but it's meant to be hard.
It wasn't.
I just.
Oh, it's just not hard for Spencer Jackson. Look at him, just a fucking badass.
Honestly, it was not hard.
Badass completes games in a second and hates filler.
Exactly.
I do, yeah.
Are we just a joke to you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a fucking asshole.
No, it's. I just didn't like God of War. It was one of those games that I picked up. This is a cool story, and then the I can't feel no pain guy came in a couple of times.
That's actually canon.
Yeah,
I understand it's canon, and I'm up on my Norse and Greek mythology because I have to be.
Do you think Norse mythology is just overrated?
No, it's.
Do you just think this all is a fucking joke, Spencer?
Yeah, everything is a joke.
I do think that I do like how they went over to Norse mythology because Greek mythology is highly overrated in media.
I think it would have been fun to see him do Roman though.
Oh, that'd have been cool, and just have the gods, but a different twist.
We'll literally have it be his father, but not.
Oh, just call him Jupiter instead.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna wrap this up because
Tanner's battery is below 5%.
Yeah, it won't even let me check it.
Okay, alright.
You might want to put, battery, no shit, it's running low. So I can't even play exit music, so yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening to the Live Z podcast. We're about to die and go overboard. My name is Bray.
This is Spencer.
This is Tanner.
Thank you guys for joining in, and we'll see you on the next one. We might take a small break, but that's just up to everybody else here. But otherwise, we'll see you next week.